G'day, I'm Joel from Airbourne, and you're rocking out on the Kerrang podcast. Keep rocking. Kerrang!
Hello and welcome to the Kerrang podcast, day 3 at Sonosphere. Joining me is Joel from Airbourne.
How you doing out there? How you going?
I'm very good. How are you?
Good, thanks, mate.
Yeah, so hardest working band in rock and roll.
Oh, you know, there's a lot of them out there, mate.
Yeah,
I mean, anyone who gets up to Motorhead standard, I reckon you got to be, the Terminator.
Yeah.
Those guys work harder than anyone else. But no, it's good to be back on the road again.
Yeah.
We've been riding a lot in Australia, working on a new album, and we'll be touring all summer here. And we've got some dates with Maiden, so it's going to be great. All in the UK, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And Maiden are from out here. You know what I mean? So it's going to be good to see them right here in England. It's going to be good. British heavy metal.
I mean, when was the first time you saw Maiden?
First time I saw Maiden was actually I seen them in Italy. Right. We were doing a festival, and they were on that festival, and fuck, it was a great show. It was I think it was the Somewhere Back in Time tour.
All right.
Yeah, it was
87-ish.
Yeah, but no, not that actual, but the recent one.
Right, the new one.
I wasn't even
3 or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, the hardest rocking baby ever.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, when you worked on the No Guts, No Glory, you kind of turned an old pub into a kind of Airbourne HQ for a while.
We did, mate. We turned an old pub into a bit of a HQ, and there was rats living in there and everything. We had homeless people living upstairs, and we had to put security alarms in because there was people breaking in, kids looking at places to smoke bongs. So, as you do when you're a kid, and then so we basically had to put that in because they thought they were going to steal our guitars or something.
Right.
So we had to do that, and but it was great, having a whole pub to ourselves. It was actually the first pub where we ever played a gig at. Mm-hmm. So it was really good.
Cool. So where are you? Are you in a similar situation now, or are you kind of writing at home, or?
No, basically what we've been doing is we've got it's not ours. We've been renting a warehouse of a friend of ours,
right,
out there and just outside of Melbourne on the other side of the Westgate Bridge. Mm-hmm. And it's actually in a suburb called Brooklyn.
All right.
It's funny because it's like sounds like we're in America, but we're actually just in Australia where kangaroos and shit hopping around. Nice. So we're out there doing that, and we've written a whole bunch of songs out there, and so we come out on the road now and got a few more ideas already out on the road. We've got a lot of stuff to get back and work on, but basically it's sounding really good so far, and we're really looking forward, after this run, we'll get back into writing again and just getting this album right. We're really digging deep on this one, I think.
Excellent.
We're really sort of going through all our old riffs and everything from the past and everything and all the new stuff, and we're sort of finding a lot of things that we never discovered before, you know what I mean? Like we did Running Wild, and then we sort of pumped out No Guts, No Glory, and then we sort of didn't really look far because we've got archives of shit, you know what I mean? We're always coming up with new stuff on the road, so there'll be a bit of stuff to choose from.
Will that particular note be on the next album?
Oh, this one here, well, that might be.
Yeah.
That will be. It's an A chord, so we'll definitely have that.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So, I mean, has your world travels kind of influenced the kind of lyrics and stuff?
Oh yeah, pretty much. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like when you're at a festival or at any show and you're watching a band, I mean, you've always got to have your ears open to see, and sometimes someone will say something, and they'll just be off the cuff. They'll say it in a sentence, and you just got to, if you hear it, sort of have your sensors on, you know what I mean? You hear it, and if you're at a show and you're watching a gig, I could imagine, I didn't get to see it, unfortunately, we just got in today, but the Big Four played yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, you get something from that, you know what I mean? Like that kind of gig, the inspiration of that would be bound to give you something, and, any stories that happen on the road, there's plenty of crazy shit that happens out there.
Is it frustrating? I mean, obviously it's brilliant being in a touring band, but is it frustrating when you arrive at a festival like 2 days after something like the Big Four?
Look, it happens a lot, but I mean, the truth be told is they're going to be at the next one. You know what I mean? So you try and you look at all the dates and you cross-reference. You spend a lot of time doing that. I was cross-referencing Whitesnake dates.
Right.
Yeah, yesterday actually, because I haven't seen them yet, and they're one of my do or die band list. I have a list of bands I need to see before I die. They're on the list, and I've got to see them. And they're playing in Budapest, in Hungary, and we're playing a festival in Hungary, but we're 300 miles out of town on the same day. So, and we're on at 11 o'clock that night, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be on it. Probably they're doing their own gigs, so it'll be probably 9 o'clock or something, So there's no way in hell I can get to that gig, and that was the only Whitesnake show I could check out if I wanted to get to one. And then I think they go to the US. But I've always cross-referenced, you know, like on the last American tour, I was cross-referencing Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers every fucking time we missed them. Last time we did the UK tour, Bad Company hit the road for the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
I cross-referenced every date then. Every time they played, we had a show, basically.
Right.
And
so
so
what you're going to have to do is do a tour with Whitesnake
and Bad Company.
Yeah,
exactly. But I didn't miss out on Meatloaf.
All right, cool.
Last time we were here, because Meatloaf was doing a tour, and it was literally, we had a day off. I got on a train, drove out to Bournemouth on the train, and then the snowstorm hit, and I couldn't get back in.
Right.
It was a complete mission, but fuck, I got to see Meatloaf, and it was, you know, it was unforgettable.
Worth the wait. Yeah.
It was definitely worth it.
Awesome. Festivals, you've got a habit of climbing as far up a scaffold. And
Yeah, I like to get up and have a look around.
Like,
Yes, you know.
Cool. You know, obviously, survival instincts will kick in, and most people won't climb as high as a van, you know, because the chance of falling off. Does your brain go into some sort of weird,
pretty much
manic autopilot when you climb?
Yeah, pretty much. You know, I mean, I like to get up and I sort of get that pumped up. You know what I mean? For a gig, it just excites me so much. It's a real adrenaline pumping thing. It's the best. Rock and roll is the best drug in the world, and when there's that many people out there, it just hits the main vein. You know what I mean? It just pumps through your heart. So you do things like that. You do things that you wouldn't normally do, and getting up the top there with your guitar, and you just looking out across the festival and seeing everyone, you know what I mean? It's awe-inspiring. It shakes you, you know what I mean? It's just such a good feeling.
That's excellent. So when you did physical education at school, were you the kid who had the guitar strapped on his back going ups and stuff?
No, I was shit at physical education, actually. I was shit at all the sports I did. The only things I was ever good at was getting on the roof.
All right.
I used to climb up on the roof of the school to get the tennis ball. I would always be the one to go and get the cricket ball or the tennis ball or the football if it ended up on the roof. I was always the one getting the ball down off the roof. So there's my climbing history. You know, I was always the dickhead on the roof.
Cool. Well, it's been great speaking to you.
Good to speak to you too.
And thanks to Gibson for letting us relax in this palatial lounge.
Thanks to Gibson, for sure.
Yeah, I bet.
I love this little piece too. Look, I've never played one of these before, but it's obviously a new model. I mean, I've always loved the 335s, but this is the definitely a new model because we got the different jobby. I mean, you always see Chuck Berry rocking one of these, you know, or BB King or something, you know. But this seems like it's really it's got a good A chord. That's a good start. Correct.